I want you to talk a little bit more about, a lot of people don't know what gongs are. They don't know what Tibetan bowls are. They don't know what you're going to be using. Could you just brief people on what these instruments are because they may not know about it?
Basically, like a gong is a round piece of metal. It's more like you would consider it like a percussive instrument. And it was, well, and it's, people know it from the orchestra in the background. And then it was played in certain moments. And it is just, well, 50, 60 years ago that the gong became popular and famous in certain musical or let's say circles, but mainly in therapeutic circles. Actually, the therapists were let's say the first to open, or some specific therapists were the first to open they general awareness to the gong, and the reason was a Greek doctor in Germany, Greek in Germany, Dr. Kananchakis. It was after the war, and he realized that many people who survived the war, they were very busy building up a new life, and because everything had to be set up. But after some times, when everything kind of was going again, people were very depressive, and then he realized that people are not. I hope I'm getting the word grieving. What is grieving? If you have a loss, you're supposed to spend time in grieving. Am I saying it right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
thank you. So and then he realized that listening to a gong um, made it easier, or made it easy for people to open themselves for the process of grieving. So he, instead of spending times talking with the people, like they were, like you said, you are talking, you have to do this, let's go for this. It's, well, if you talk about things, you not necessarily can touch the, let's say, the vibrational reality of what you are going to talk about. But with the gong, it kind of happened almost by itself. And because of the vibration, particularly, it didn't happen with a piano, didn't happen with a violin or a drum. It was only possible with a gong. And later on, people start to research why the gong. But actually, it's just a matter of physics, because a gong presents a full, complete sound of all frequencies. At least German gongs does. And most people are not aware that Northern Germany is like the world competence center of gong building. Well, of course, they built gongs in China, and now it's kind of, but they were far away of having standards in sound qualities as the German gongs have. So the German gongs were very popular, first in these therapeutic circles, and were used. And then it kind of took a while. And then it was when this whole new age movement started. So people started to, well, this was this actually was a good thing in contemporary Western culture, which is one of the few good things that come from America, because people start to research how are the conditions of a human personality, and yes. So um, well, the history of contemporary understanding of human psychology is, of course, is not linear, is very complex, and like the academical studies that is connected with pharmaceutical industries is on a complete different level than people that act as a, let's say, as visionaries, or they operate with private institutes, and not stick to pharmaceutical industries. So, and but like there was this huge movement of transpersonal development, self exploration, and then the agreement was that people are, it's important to look inside yourself, If you only look outside, if you describe the world outside, yes, it's a description of the outside world, but at a certain point, if you want to understand yourself, you need to look inside. And the way how to look inside, like in Germany, in we don't like all the traditional strategies, like they were completely wiped out, like this, let's say, the ancient wisdom of natural life. This was started with the Roman Catholic history, like it was all like wiped out. And then and then one of the cultural, let's say, traumas was because we had this like not even 400, 500 years ago, when women were like looked as witches, and all everything they were doing, like this, the natural connection to your mother, to a woman, was simply ignored and was declared to be from the devil. And then and so the process of let's say of a natural let's say self-education in the realms of your of traditional legacies, it didn't happen anymore. So it was like 60 years ago, after the wars, people were really, really desperate, and it was only because of the doors that opened actually through psychedelic medical plants, like the mushroom culture in Mexico, was kind of opening the door again. And then people went there, and they had with this, it was a woman, Maria Sabrina, and she was looked as a traitor in her traditions, because they said you should not share this wisdom with these white people. And but she said the spirit talked to her, and the spirit said that these Western people are so desperate, they're not connected at all. So she felt she needed to help these Western people. And actually, and what happened from this was a huge movement, where people, with the support of this medical plants, started a communication with, like a real communication to their higher self, to spirits, and understanding that that you are not alone. You are placed in an environment which is very complex, and if you have a rational, limited mind, you will not even see a glimpse of the reality. So it was a huge movement that started, uh, transformational psychology, uh, yeah, exactly. And then the gong and the singing bowl, very fast. Well, the gong first became like a very popular tool in these in this field of research. And yes, and this was somehow how, when the gong came into the game, and at the same thing, or a little bit later, also the singing bowl, because the singing bowl is, well, is easier to handle, right? It has a limited sound. Of course, it sounds different, and the effect is a little bit different, but they complement each other very, very well within a sound meditation or sound massage. So we are going, definitely, I'm going to teach how to combine gongs and singing bowls, or even other instruments, and to use, like, let's say, to use basic protocols, how to open a door to sustainable self-exploration.
Thank you for that.